we're Young Broken Borg. My name is Miguel.
I'm Jobby.
I'm Eddie.
We're gonna talk about some movie stuff today.
Yeah,
We have I think this time for sure we have working fucking video.
I know, and it's such a relief. I mean, oh my goodness.
I think it's safe to say it's gonna work this time.
We got lights.
All this week I was looking up ways to fix.
Which means you can see this in HD glory.
Yeah.
That was really fast.
I know.
Yeah, I would like to publicly apologize for these past two podcasts. We were kind of like quality was not that great.
What do you mean? They were masterpieces.
The content was there. Just the production.
We're going straight to the academy, man.
Yeah. Even like our set isn't that great. Like we're gonna still hash that out, but like we got a temporary setup.
But you know, I actually think we just have some leeway on that because we are Young Broken Borg.
Yeah,
right?
we're
Sure,
I mean,
name.
Broke is really prevalent.
I mean, you're not gonna see any like high quality set design anytime soon on Young Broken Borg.
Yeah.
Definitely,
I'm gonna work on that, but things cost money, so I don't want to.
That is true. That is a true thing of life.
We need a makeup person.
It's true.
I gotta get my cheeks all nice and
rosy. We have light,
each
but
podcast.
now it's just gonna show how pasty we are.
Yeah, all oily and like.
I'm more gold than anything.
Oh God,
I don't like to go outside.
I guess it's like an Asian thing.
So I have something to. So I was figuring out this system, right? The whole. Essentially, we're doing a two camera setup right now.
Okay.
Multi-angle filming. Whoa!
And
whoa!
The reason I would love to only have one camera angle, even though like separate camera angles is nice, but we're using two cameras not because we want different angles. It's because we need to have it because
out of necessity.
DSLRs for some reason only let you record for a certain. It's 30 minutes. That's what that's what they advertise. That's what they pride themselves on. But it's not, because if you record at 1080p, which is now not even becoming the standard, it's 4K now. But if you record...
Jeez, I forgot that was even a thing, 4K.
If you're recording 1080p, you can only record up to 12 minutes because it takes a lot of memory. So after 4 gigabytes, it just cuts off. So that...
And that's a bunch of donkey
yeah,
do.
I guess, like, sure, Canon is like, oh, we're a camera company, we work in stills. Video is just like a side piece. We add to the.
You also mentioned, wasn't it like a loophole?
There's a tax thing because they get taxed more if it's for a video camera. So like they don't I guess that time frame 29
minutes. But what
minutes.
Canon doesn't know is that video is the future.
Yeah, and video most
they haven't caught on to that yet.
Most people who buy Canons usually buy it for like they're like amateur filmmakers. So
yeah.
Even though like you don't need to record for that long and like filming can get like cut and whatnot. It's just annoying that they're like 29 minutes and 29 seconds. Even though if you're recording 1080p, it's like 12 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's why we're using two cameras. And like I finally figured out a decent setup where we can have video that doesn't look like ass.
How come the second camera could record for longer?
Good thing you asked while I was drinking. So the camera that you're gonna see later in the podcast that one can record for a little bit longer because that camera can only record up to 720p. So the file's going to be a little bit smaller. Okay. But you won't notice in the video. So I didn't say that.
Hey, editing magic. Cut that right out.
No, we're leaving that in. We're too lazy to fix
Premiere is a very powerful tool.
I got to get me some of that Premiere action right now.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty expensive.
Yeah, everyone go give your money to Adobe. Premiere's got some good stuff on there.
They do.
And I don't even use it.
The only reason I have it is because I'm using the student discount, which is $30 cheaper a month. Okay. So I'm like, I kind of want to do that because there's a lot of Adobe has not only their video video software, editing softwares is good, but like their Photoshop is good. I'm using right now Audition, which is their essentially like a fancier version of Audacity. And it just comes with a bunch of good stuff that you can use.
So you have the whole suite, right?
Yeah, you get the whole suite for, this is, I'm not going to say for how much because it sounds like an advertisement for Adobe. They have good products and like.
Adobe.
It's.
Adobe.
Yeah. Hook it up. Unfortunately, I don't think they do. Do you think they do? What? Like hook it up for like big companies?
Production?
What was that? Can you say?
The burp was coming up.
I feel like they'd screw them harder. Because we had a conversation a while ago that wasn't on camera, but we were talking about how small businesses they always have to have their own kind of price model.
It's
for everything. Internet
too, yeah.
I feel like Adobe would probably do the same.
It's pretty ass.
Yeah.
It's pretty ass. So what movies did you guys watch any movie?
Yeah, I guess that concludes the behind the scenes
the
portion
production portion, which we probably should
we didn't talk about potatoes.
But do you want to talk more? How can we talk about potatoes?
I'm done with the potatoes, man. Like, what else is there to say? They look like cancerous tumors that you can eat. That's what potatoes are. You cut them up, you fry them. Ooh, it's good. But
Tell me more.
Oh no, I'm the potato talker. Plot twist.
Okay, so did you guys watch any movie? I know you watched. This is a really shitty way to segue to movie talk.
I watched In Bruges.
You did watch In
Whoa!
Bruges. That's right.
I
Yeah.
didn't even do
That's not the movie we're gonna talk about.
No, it wasn't.
When was that made? Like 2004?
2008. 2008.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you what I watch. My good friend introduced me to a website called Hentai Heaven. They've got the late. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. They got the latest and greatest hentais. They got each category, even the lolly stuff for. You know what I'm talking about.
What? I know.
Is that the demographic we're targeting?
I'm not.
Hey, fans of I don't want to throw shade at my audience again.
No.
I was about to say, hey, you people who like Madoka Magica, I know there's a portion of you there who wants some of that Hummer ass.
My God.
You know what I'm saying? Ooh, for that 14-year-old booty.
Oh my God. Okay. Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry. I'm polluting the podcast.
You dug yourself real deep there, didn't you?
What are you talking about? I dug myself right when I showed my nipple on camera.
What did you think of In Bruges?
I really liked it.
Really good?
I told you that's my new favorite Colin Farrell movie.
And then
which before I didn't really have one.
Oh, Daredevil.
Oh fuck. It was really good.
Yeah,
the cinematography is really nice. Colin Farrell's character is really good.
Original story.
Do you know who directed it?
That is a good. I don't remember.
Oh.
I think it was
like a
big
big name director.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
it was. It can be
Steven Spielberg.
Martin McDonough.
That's
Martin McDonough.
That's the director and writer of the
2008. Oh, you're right.
2008. Yep.
That's
really good movie.
That sounds like you were gonna do a joke involving Martin Scorsese.
The love interest is really pretty.
Yeah, she is. She's.
Who was that?
Her name is Clemence. That looks like pussy, but it's Posey.
Clemence Posey.
Posey.
It's pussy with the accent.
Yeah.
It's French, probably.
Probably.
It's Posey.
Posey. Okay. But so you liked In Bruges. I think it's really well written.
Yeah.
Really well written.
I only have two, this is just nitpicky. Like, the movies, I would hold that high enough regard where it's like, I'm just finding things to nitpick.
Right.
Because overall, I just really like the movie. Yeah. The first maybe 30 minutes they say Bruges fucking 40 times.
Bruges, yeah.
It's just he just keeps complaining about being in this city.
Yeah, he keeps
it's
shitting.
all right, I get where you are. You're in some shitty place in Europe.
It's the name of the movie.
I feel like the city was all right, you gotta say the name Bruges at least 10 times for us to give you
Oh, you mean it was in the contract?
Yeah, I think so.
Probably.
That's funny.
Well,
I can imagine.
And honestly, it almost kind of made me want to go to Bruges.
It's a beautiful city.
It really is. It's really historic.
It's funny because one of the characters, the older character, Colin Farrell's buddy, pretty much, he's enjoying his little vacation, and he's they're going to the sites, and he's reading a bunch of historical facts and things like that.
Oh,
he's yeah, Bruges is one of the.
So it's kind of indirectly like a tour of Bruges.
Kind of,
pretty much, yeah.
For a good portion of the movie, but it's nice because Ken and Colin Farrell's character, they have their exchanges and they're really funny.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's saying that town is it's from a medieval period, and it's one of the towns with the most preserved medieval buildings. And
so it's Bruges a medieval name?
I guess.
I claim this land as Bruges.
Probably.
For the king.
It's really. If you haven't watched it, I suggest you watch. You too.
I should.
So yeah, that was one of my gripes that they said Bruges a million times.
Is that really
every other
from the movie?
In every other sentence, they mention that they're in the city of Bruges.
Colin Farrell makes it a point that he really does not like being in Bruges.
Oh. Yeah. So I was walking through the Bruges.
Pretty much.
That's the whole movie.
Yeah. And then the other thing was So the older gentleman and Colin Farrell, I feel in the beginning they didn't establish how close they were, or like how, kind of their history. Because later in the movie, the older character Ken, he goes out of his way to like really help Colin Farrell's character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just feel like that wasn't established all that too well in the beginning. But I mean, other than that, it was a really good movie.
It's pretty good.
Sounds kind of like sounds kind of like an indirect callback to the Civil War criticism.
Right. Yeah. We're just trying to find it's really well made, really well made movie. Jesus Christ, English is a really hard language to speak.
I have a segue.
Do you?
And something that
You have a
wasn't
segue?
as well made and superhero related.
Excellent.
I watched X-Men Apocalypse.
Hey.
What did you think about it?
Okay, so
spoiler free, please.
Spoiler free.
yeah, I'm not gonna
for my
mention too many
sake.
things. So
Fuck you.
after watching this movie, I realized I do this thing when I go to the theaters. I go in with pretty low expectations, I think.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean,
I
I was
think
like,
it's the best way to enjoy movies.
yeah, but
Yeah, but it's also
when you're trying to be critical,
exactly.
you have a bias towards it.
Oh,
Exactly.
okay, gotcha.
So I went in. I was pretty excited. I liked X-Men. I liked the previous one.
Days of Future
Past. Although I wanted to I should have rewatched it before going to watch this newest one.
Right.
There's not a lot of stuff that you'll miss really.
Yeah,
But I just think it would have been good to see that. Overall, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun movie. But it's a major diamond in the rough.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's not perfect.
No, I mean if you were comparing it to something more recent, Civil War was a lot better.
Oh.
But I mean,
Well, I think that's kind of unfair at this point. Civil War just set the bar so high.
yeah, I mean, I did that comparison because they were both superhero movies.
That's true, and they're
Marvel
both like
properties.
and they're both like ensemble movies.
Yeah, to an extent. Days of Future Past was a little bit more ensemble than than this one.
Oh, okay.
The CG, I have to say, was at certain parts, like towards the end, which is unfortunate, was pretty bad.
No.
Before you move on to the CG, you guys mentioned the ensemble cast for X-Men, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that ensemble cast was like with a lot of like new characters that we hadn't experienced, and like with these specific actors in. So I feel like that kind of takes away from the ensemble aspect. I think so.
Because I mean,
Have you seen it?
No, I'm just.
Oh,
from,
okay.
Like,
just
and-
from
well, I
just
mean,
that.
it's like
an
they.
observation, I think I
And the
have.
second movie, I mean, the first one, First Class, I guess. Would you call these new X-Men movies reboots?
I
Kinda.
guess
so.
they pretty much are.
Well,
They are-
the thing is, the second one kind of like they try to bridge the gap because they brought cast from the original trilogy
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
new one.
Yeah.
So it's just
I'm
in this
trying to come
weird-
up with a term.
It's like
Requel.
a requel.
a requiem.
You,
I don't
you,
know.
got, you gotta like you gotta trademark that and make bank off of it.
Requel. Copyright.
LCCC or whatever. But yeah, so like you were saying, in the first one, I feel like they established these characters that were gonna be in the following movies, and in the second one, they had that cast and then the cast from the original. So it's kind of an ensemble.
Yeah, but like it's just like I can admit the fact that there was an ensemble cast. It's just not a very good one because we're not familiar with those characters.
I see.
I mean,
Yeah,
we're familiar with those characters, but not those actors that play those characters in that specific timeline. In that
Well,
specific
let me
storyline.
get this straight. So it's like the first movie, the first and second movies of this new trilogy was like, okay, building up these characters, and
And
then the
then
third one,
Let's fucking change them. Yeah.
let's just throw all,
Like,
all this new shit that we haven't built up
for
yet.
the most part.
Well, that's what it sounds like.
From a person who hasn't seen the movie, I think they did the characters well. It's just that like it's kind of.
Wait, you can't say that if you haven't seen the
No,
movie.
no,
you
So you
No,
haven't
I
seen the second one?
filthy.
No, I've seen the second one.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying like
Filthy something.
they did Magneto well. They did
Yeah.
Professor X well. Wolverine's still Wolverine, and the new characters they brought in were really good characters.
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, who did they introduce new in the second movie?
What,
Whiplash.
You mean Days of Future Past?
Yeah, Days of Future.
Did you say Whiplash? That's
Yes.
Iron Man.
Yeah.
Quicksilver.
Mickey Rourke.
Oh yeah, that was his first appearance, huh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Days of Future Past. Yeah.
Who else?
I don't know. Well, who's
I feel like they didn't introduce that many new
Any
characters.
new
in this
No,
movie.
heroes?
no,
Not really,
Not
no.
really.
That's
no.
what I'm saying. Like I would feel like that first movie was enough to make them feel familiar.
No, well, I'm saying because I feel like a lot of the from what I can see in the trailer, the new villains and some of the new heroes like Jean, fucking Jubilee. I know she's not in the movie.
Oh,
much,
okay.
but,
I see.
like
what you're saying.
those new characters they brought in. It's like-
Really? Is Jubilee literally just like a fan service cameo?
I think.
Oh,
like really?
Uh,
Are people that excited for Jubilee that they
fucking-
had to give her a fan
I
service?
really don't
cameo?
like that hero. She
I
shoots
mean-
fireworks for fuck's sake.
What are you talking about? Fireworks?
No, she's so useless.
Distraction.
Like her intro in the the intro for X-Men is just like fireworks.
Oh, speaking of useless fucking characters, confirm or deny this rumor. Did Taylor Swift come out in X-Men?
Oh yeah, wasn't she?
That was a rumor.
That
was a rumor.
Who was she playing?
They said
I read about that.
They said she was playing Dazzler.
Yeah, she was like she was in
I don't know the fuck that is.
And like either like a newspaper or like a TV thing. I remember reading about that. I'm gonna like.
So you can't even confirm or deny that rumor.
We're gonna.
So it's still up in the air.
It's like.
I'm sorry we couldn't provide the smoking hot sizzling cup. No,
it's not.
Okay.
Producers are saying
Producers
it's not
say
true.
she's denied.
Okay.
You heard it here first.
It's like that Daniel Craig thing being in Star Wars, but he actually was, right?
He was a stormtrooper. Yeah, he was a stormtrooper.
JB 007.
He's the first guy that
Isn't he the one that Ray
yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's anyways. Jubilee.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
if you really wanted Jubilee to have like a really good role in the movie, it ain't there.
Fucking hate that character.
Really?
I really don't like Jubilee.
Was she originally Asian?
Yeah.
I think so. It's
kind
of hard to tell with cartoons.
Her name is literally Jubilation
really
Lee. That's her name, Jubilation Lee. That's her like real name.
Fucking name. I like her even less.
Welcome to comic books.
Jubilation Lee.
We got some stupid ass names.
What's Harley Quinn's original name? Like
Harleen Quinzel.
Oh my god.
Hey, but that's a good fucking character. That's a good character
and
with a stupid name.
It's
a good character.
But Jubilation Lee.
Right? Am I right?
Producers are saying she's cute.
I agree. She is cute.
I don't care. She's a fucking useless character.
She from that cast photo.
How is that like fan service? I feel like that character isn't really well loved. Yeah, I don't.
Well, I think it's for like the people who remember the animated series, because I think she kind of had a substantial role in that.
I don't even remember that.
And she came out in the intro, so it's like people remember
her fucking fireworks. Oh my god! Fuck, I really don't.
She was like the fucking Snarf from Thundercats.
I love Snarf.
I feel like some people are annoyed by him though. Cause that.
Oh god.
Sounds like an old lady having a stroke.
Okay, so I was confused. I thought
CG. You were talking about CG.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll go back to it.
It's really good. Academy Award-winning special effects for X-Men Apocalypse.
It's like as you're watching the movie, the CG's kind of getting progressively worse. Cause like to me when I was watching it, cause like the last fight. I mean, it's a spoiler. There's gonna be a fight, and there's like a last.
That's
one
not a spoiler. That happens every.
The CG there was incredibly lacking.
Really?
Yeah, and it's disappointing. The way I was explaining it after I came out of the theater is like shit. This movie relies heavily on CG, and they didn't realize that beforehand.
Damn.
They were just running out of money.
So, so it's kind of like a.
You know what they waste all their money on? Fucking Jubilee.
They spent their
highest
whole
paid
money.
actor.
Oh my god. You know what? It's kind of like a reverse of Age of Ultron situation. You remember like that first battle sequence of Age of Ultron? It looked really bad.
Which one
it was like PS2. It was like PS2 cutscenes when they were like when they were storming what the hell Von Strucker's base.
Okay.
It looked really bad in my opinion. Anyway, like the camera was like whipping in unnatural movements and everyone was flipping off.
Maybe that's why.
It looked like a cheap game. But then as the movie progressed, the CGI got better. Whether the story got better, that's debatable. But the special effects definitely got better across the movie. So
that Hulkbuster fight, though.
Oh my god!
Oh yeah, that was great.
That's the best part of
the movie. So many action figures were sold on that day.
But going back to X-Men, that's part of the movie that was really lacking. Although it's funny though, because like Quicksilver, when he made his appearance, he had that major like. Really cool sequence. Quicksilver in the second one, right?
Yeah.
In this movie, they topped it.
Did they really?
Yeah, it was really fucking. Okay, so one of the things I loved about this movie. Loved is a strong word.
Producer confirmed. It was really the Quicksilver scene was really good.
One of the things I really liked about this movie,
and he hated the movie.
Yeah. Wow, his eyes bugged out. It was. I feel like it was pretty subtle. Its setting is in the 80s.
Okay.
And they use that a lot.
Really?
The movies. Yeah, there's even references to like Star Wars and stuff like that.
Well, was it kind of like a similar thing to the first movie where it was like a montage of him with the old song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was
80s song.
Though. Yeah, it was an 80s song, and I just thought it was perfect. Yeah.
Don't say what song because it's probably gonna.
No. It's great when you hear it.
Okay.
And it was really funny and it looked great.
Okay.
It's funny you mentioned that they topped.
It's like they blew their load all their money on that one.
That's probably where all the budget went. The Quicksilver budget
which
ruined the
is
movie.
Interesting because if you see how they do that effect, essentially he's just running around people that are standing still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not like it doesn't. I don't think. I mean, unless they're using the special effects for things that are
it's
like water droplets and bullets.
Yeah,
and all that
yeah.
stuff.
It's a lot more than that, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you watch it, you really get the feeling that he's going
Yeah,
super
you
fast.
do.
It's not just people staying still. It's like they're moving in slow motion.
And this scene is even bigger and probably longer than the one
is it really?
in the second movie.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
So that was one of the things I liked. I liked the 80s thing. I like Quicksilver. Apocalypse as a villain kind of fell a little flat.
Well,
I really like the actor.
That I was about to ask. How about
Oscar
the
Isaac,
acting on
right?
him? Was the acting on him good?
I mean, I
Or
don't know
was
if
it like,
Apocalypse
or was it like
is-
generic villain, or did he bring something extra to like the character?
It just seemed like a generic.
Villain.
For some reason, it has a British accent.
Everything
Really?
they built will fall. I've heard that like 100 times. Like they kept playing the same clip over and over in the trailers.
A lot of, I don't know, this is a spoiler, a lot of decapitations in that movie.
Really?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm digging
the
that.
beginning sequence, it's there some of the, like the beginning sequence there's mutants like pretty much killing people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
And the way they killed certain people
I'm
looked
down
really
with that.
really graphic.
Really?
I was just like, Jesus.
But like, but it was like
The
blood-
producer knows
blood-
what I'm talking about.
bloodless violence.
Bloodless, but like they
Really graphic?
What's the word?
It was-
Contort bodies in really fucked up ways.
Oh, okay.
So it just looks.
Was it like bloodbending in Avatar?
Kinda.
bloodless
I haven't seen that,
violence?
but yeah.
Oh shit, you have.
Yeah.
I started watching. I finished the first season.
Oh.
I'm on second season right now.
We
So
can
what
talk
else?
about that.
Yeah.
Were you guys excited for Psylocke at all?
Not really.
Not
I like
really.
Olivia. Like Olivia Munn's cool.
Yeah.
Mun.
I have no feelings whatsoever towards Psylocke and her actress because
It's. I mean, I was like very indifferent about that character.
like I'm actually kind of I don't know if I don't know if this sounds kind of like closed minded, but like I'm not even sure why like a lot of fans attach to the character in the first place.
I have no.
I feel that maybe it's just
Cleavage.
I feel that maybe it's just the nice ass and tits.
Probably that might be it.
It's funny too because someone else brought this point. One of our producers brought this point to me.
Yeah.
When is it spoilers? Okay, well, like the 4 horsemen of Apocalypse, right? They're getting their armor and stuff like that.
I got something.
3 out of the 4 of them have really cool,
badass armor,
functional, like it makes sense to armor.
Oh yeah,
and then
Miguel.
Psylocke.
Oh,
She's one of them.
She's Psylocke. She's just Psylocke.
She's
the
just
comic
in
book
like an Illyria
kind of like Japanese RPGs. Like their armor is like a bra, like a metal bra,
Yeah.
with underwear and just like skin.
Essentially,
I'm gonna kick your butt.
it's pretty funny.
Jesus Christ.
But I mean, overall, I didn't feel like when I left the movie I wanted my money back or anything.
Yeah,
okay.
it wasn't
So it was
that
like-
bad.
Yeah, I mean, I like this movie more than Batman vs Superman. If that's any.
Well, any movie's better than Batman
I
versus
feel like it would be.
Fuck that movie. Zack Snyder more like Hack Snyder.
But I really
Am I
like-
right?
I really like Watchmen though.
Okay.
You liked Watchmen?
Watchmen is okay.
I don't like
Really?
Watchmen.
I really liked Watchmen.
Well, yeah, Watchmen was really good when I first saw it, but then I read the book.
I thought it was pretty.
But I agree with the spoilers for Watchmen. The whole squid thing, it was kind of a good improvement from the movie. Yeah.
Did you think reading the graphic novel did that add to the experience for the
movie?
Yeah,
for sure. For me, it did.
I just appreciate how faithful the movie really was to the graphic novel or the
Did you
comics.
Did you read the book first?
No, I watched the movie, then I read the graphic
novel.
novel.
Oh yeah,
you lent me the graphic novel.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So yeah. I watched the movie and then read the book too, and it kind of made me appreciate the movie more. So like I guess in my opinion, I kind of put it on the same level as the book. But like reading the book is kind of more like the full experience.
Because I think I'm definitely more attached to the Marvel universe because I read the comics when I was younger. So I feel I might have enjoyed the Watchmen a little bit more if I had read the graphic novel because I felt I grew attached to one character. I'm not gonna.
It's a pretty old movie.
I grew really attached to Rorschach.
Everyone grew attached to
and
Rorschach.
he ends up dying. I'm like, this fucking.
I know. Rorschach made that movie.
Dr. Manhomo over here killed Rorschach.
That happens in the same.
Kill me! Yeah, I know.
But it's like, funny. I mean, I'm pretty sure you've read it too. That like the writer of the graphic novel, he didn't intend that.
That's right. Really? He didn't. Alan Moore didn't intend Rorschach to be like charismatic. He wanted him to be like a freak that no one liked.
Right.
But he became one of the most
beloved characters.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess people
which is interesting.
are more black and white than they...
I know. And then Jackie Earle Haley compounded on that problem, making him even more likable.
Yeah, because
the acting
was, I feel, played him
now,
really well.
Now I think about it, like, Jackie Earle Haley pretty much, he's the Punisher.
Is he?
Rorschach is basically the Punisher. Like Jackie Earle Haley plays him as the Punisher. As I don't know, that's an observation. I like the Punisher. Everybody.
Punisher's
but even more badass because he doesn't use any guns.
Yeah, oh, that's right. He just breaks things.
I just love that part of the movie where I think he's interrogating someone, or he's about to, and they're holding like a whiskey glass. Yeah. And he just holds onto his hand and breaks the whiskey glass. And the guy's like,
God. So
final
thoughts on X-Men.
If you like the second movie, you might be. Even our producer was pretty disappointed because he held the second one really high regard.
Second one's really good.
It is, yeah.
I think it's worth a watch. I enjoyed it. I had a good time.
I think it's safe to say, Dobby, you and I, we're probably definitely gonna still watch.
We're definitely gonna watch X-Men for sure. Yeah, I mean, my dad's a big fan of X-Men, and I'm totally gonna watch.
Grew up like on X-Men and like enjoyed Wolverine's storyline. Even the newer X-Men cartoon that came out, I can't remember what it's called.
Wolverine and the X-Men.
No.
X-Men Evolution?
Yes, X-Men Evolution, where they're in like the black and orange.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the orange black Wolverine is a really cool design.
Really cool. That's one of our...
There's a character that comes out in the movie.
That's voice actor.
There's a character that comes out in the movie. I didn't know he was going to be in it. I just gave it a little bit away.
Oh no!
I don't know if that character.
You let a little out.
Yeah. I don't want to mention it. Okay. Just because in case
you prairie dogged a little information.
Yeah.
I'll suck it up back in there.
We'll edit that.
Hold it in.
I don't know. I don't know if you guys knew. Like, was that big news?
What? No. You know what? I know what you're gonna say. And it's not that big of a surprise because they revealed it in the trailer.
Oh, is it?
Did they really?
Is it who?
Snake.
Yeah. They
revealed it in the trailer.
And the last trailer, it's like at the last bit of the trailer.
It was like
we had a little help, and you see his.
It was like a Spider-Man moment in the Civil War trailer.
Yeah. But Spider-Man was way better done.
Oh, and there's this. Okay, so there's this sequence where you kind of catch up with Magneto and what he's been up to because apparently there's been a span of time.
Okay.
Right.
I don't know how long. They make it seem like at least 5 years, maybe a little bit longer since the second movie. Mm-hmm. And you see what Magneto's been up to, and I thought most of what his little storyline before the events of Apocalypse, that was really cool. But then it gets a little, was it maybe, I don't know, cliche or
cliche?
Not cliche. It was just like, I don't even know.
Typical. Okay. We got you.
Once you see it,
insert negative adjective.
Yeah. Once you see it, you're like, okay. It was like really hammy.
Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But
hackneyed.
Yeah.
Okay. So, did you enjoy it at all?
I enjoyed it.
You had a good time.
I had a good time.
Final score. Letter grade. Number grade. What is it?
Good popcorn movie.
Good popcorn movie.
Good popcorn movie.
Yeah.
That's good.
5 out of 10. 7 out of 10. 8 out of 10.
6 out of, I think 6.5. From what you guys talked about, like 6, I think is fair.
I mean, go watch it.
Yeah, 6. We're definitely. I'm definitely gonna go watch it.
Would you give it the kiss?
The kiss. 3. Producers saying 3.
I'd give it a really firm handshake.
Okay.
Nice pat on the back.
Yeah.
You tried.
I really like you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But I'm not gonna call you.
I'm not gonna say I love you.
Jobby,
too real.
I hate to bring up a movie that you didn't watch either. At least Eddie didn't watch it either.
I'm feeling slowly isolated.
After what I've been hearing, I kind of want to watch it way more. I mean, I always kind of wanted to watch it, but
yeah. So I watched today actually with the Saturday they were recording the podcast. I watched The Nice Guys.
Thanks for the invite.
I have this thing, and one of our producers gave me a really hard time for it. I have this bad habit where like
everyone is on your ass.
I look up a movie time. It's like that sounds good, and I'll just show up at that time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this sounds good.
You think you're what the hell's his name? Roger Ebert over here.
Yeah.
Going to the movies by himself with a notepad.
He's like, yes.
At one point, he unbuckled his pants.
But yeah, I watched The Nice Guys. Starring Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe. Mm-hmm. The movie was fucking great.
Really?
From
so I've heard.
Minute 1 of the movie, I'm like, you get really into it because I mean, living in LA, I have I'm really attached to that movie specifically.
Does that movie take place in LA?
Yeah, it takes place in Hollywood, Los Angeles.
What time? Like era, like 70s.
70s,
right?
the 70s, yeah. Which I'll touch on that in a little bit. Just from minute 1, I was like felt really attached. because it took place in LA, and I think they captured LA really well. Just LA in that time. It's really well written. It's directed by Shane Black. I forget who wrote it.
Not the tiger from Kung Fu Panda.
Not the tiger.
No. Not Ian McShane.
No. It's really well written. Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe make a really good pairing together.
Good chemistry.
Yeah, very good chemistry.
That's good.
Their characters work really well together. Russell Crowe has a different occupation, but you kind of have that feeling that they're kind of on the same level as.
Well, yeah, one's a private eye, the other one's
like pretty much like
beats
people up.
the shit out of people.
Well, as the movie progresses,
it's like Batman but gets paid.
Yeah, as the movie progresses, you kind of feel like Russell Crowe is almost better than Ryan Gosling at his job. Yeah, but you'll there's like a really funny aspect to Ryan Gosling's character, like how he like gets along as a private vet, like a PI.
Yeah, because I was gonna say
really
what's the point of his character?
Yeah, no, it's really funny how like they like essentially like justify Ryan Gosling being there. What else? I wanted to cover that they covered the 70s really well. That movie felt like a really modern movie, even though it was set in the 70s, because they captured the 70s vibe really well. Like they talked about,
but using modern filmmaking.
Yeah, modern filmmaking because the film looks new. I mean, it's not like it looks like a movie from the 70s. So like it feels like a very modern LA movie.
So it's like the 70s in HD.
Exactly, pretty much. And like they cover the period really well because they cover a lot of the. Of course, the soundtrack, a lot of 70s music, the style, the current topics, the current events that were happening around that time. Like in LA, we kind of still have a really bad smog problem. Yeah, and that kind of that's an element in the story that kind of plays.
Really?
Hey, those vaping noises better not get in the shot.
That's why I'm saying. Our producers have a problem with vaping. This is an
addiction. It's an
addiction. This podcast is tearing us an intervention.
It's tearing us apart.
Hey, if you want to make it up to us, beer me.
Beer me.
There's none more?
Gatorade me, bitch.
Do it.
Do it. You don't want to finish that?
It's not open. Okay.
Yo.
Pass the fucking beer.
Gatorade me, bitch.
Like I said, the smog thing doesn't. Jesus, are you really having a conversation with them? Us?
Yeah, it's fine.
He's in the process of getting his beer. Continue.
Keep happening.
That smog thing doesn't play like a huge factor in the story, but like it gets brought up in really really clever ways. So I think that they covered that.
It's not just a little joke.
No, it's not like I think it's kind of like an occurring joke.
Oh. Like a running gag.
Just blur that out.
Yeah, it's just like all around really really well produced movie, really well written movie, really well directed movie. Shane Black is a director.
Cool.
It's really indicative of his work.
Mm-hmm.
What else has he directed?
Boogie Nights.
Iron Man 3, his most well-known film.
Okay, it's one of those. It's a very like a very 70s movie. I can't remember which one.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Yes, I think so.
I think that's what it's called.
Yes, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Kiss, Kiss, Bang.
Yes.
Iron Man 3.
And Lethal Weapon.
Iron Man 3.
Yeah, he directed Iron Man 3. Which
Lethal Weapon.
Iron Man.
Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
Iron Man 3 feels.
Predator.
Shut up.
Really?
I guess
he did Predator. Whoa,
Iron Man 3 feels like a Shane Black. It's like a Shane Black movie with Iron Man in it.
Cool.
That's what it very much feels like. Iron Man 3.
Do you like Iron Man 3?
I really like Iron Man 3.
I like Iron Man.
It's pretty funny.
Iron Man 3 is okay.
Solid. I definitely suggest you guys watch it. And the main point I wanted to make with this movie is that I really like the writing. I really like the directing. The acting's really good in it. But this movie, it's an original movie. Not many. I'll make the point that if this movie didn't come out in a time where like X-Men came out, The Angry Birds came out, it came out on the same weekend.
Oh, so you're saying like it kind of got buried by the competition.
If it didn't get released at a time where these big high budget blockbuster movies,
something with a really recognizable name.
Exactly, and they're not original movies. Those movies aren't original either, and they're doing better in the box office than Nice Guys is doing.
It makes me wonder how does production schedules work, because I'm sure like if they knew in advance,
they probably should have just like pushed it back, either like push it back one week, and
it feels like they had to settle on this date for some reason or another, and they couldn't change it. So they're just like, we accept it. We're gonna take it up the ass this weekend.
My main point is like not many movies like this exist nowadays. It's either like movies either based off of a book, off of like it's a superhero movie. It's fucking based in Angry Birds.
Based on a blog post on Tumblr.
On a fucking mobile video game.
Yeah.
this movie is like near and dear to my heart right now, especially because not many movies like this exist.
That reminds me, they're actually making a movie out of the Gamergate controversy. That's how low we've gotten.
Yeah.
What?
Hold on. Well, let me finish my point. Is that The Nice Guys is nowadays is very unique because it's an original film that the way it's written, and you're just fucking distracting me.
What? He was making hand signs over there.
Yeah, he was distracting me. I lost
Stay on course, boys.
It's just not many movies like this exist. I'm gonna keep reiterating that point.
Right.
Is that
not many movies exist, and Hollywood are all unoriginal hacks.
Yeah,
and they should all be fired
and
from their jobs.
Make a movie.
Okay. I will.
It's just a shame.
You're in it.
It's just a shame that the originality doesn't exist in Hollywood anymore. And movies like this that come out, they're gonna get burned under the ground by Angry Birds and by X-Men because it's not doing well.
I counter argument with you that Hollywood has always been unoriginal and they always will.
No, yeah, without a doubt. But like
they always adapt things.
If movies like this did a little bit better in the studio's eyes, I think they'd invest more money in for writers to like, all right, let's invest some money for writers to write
some original
content.
I feel that actually happened when I guess when Lethal Weapon or when other Shane Black movies were popular during that time. That was when Hollywood saw potential in original ideas. But then I guess that time's gone.
Isn't that the whole idea or like spirit behind independent filmmaking? I feel like that independent films they're a lot more feasible now than they ever been.
That's true, actually. Yeah, I guess like with the success of movies like Drive or Whiplash, it's like independent filmmaking is getting more bit of traction.
Yeah, but I feel like even before then, like Rocky, that's technically an independent film.
Oh really?
Yeah. At its time for sure.
Yeah.
Now it's like a classic.
Now it's a
but
franchise.
I mean obviously I wouldn't consider it an independent film because it has a relatively high budget and big names to attach.
Yeah.
No. Nice Guys.
Yeah.
But I think original movies can exist out of indie films because sometimes bigger production budgets add to the film. Like this film, I feel like if it didn't have a specific amount of budget, I think
they couldn't get all that music.
They couldn't. Yeah, the music.
Oh, right.
What they like shooting in LA is pretty expensive to capture that vibe of LA.
Costuming.
Yeah, even like this movie works really well also as an action movie. There's like some pretty legit action scenes in this movie, which I won't go into because I don't want to spoil it.
All right.
You really have to go watch this movie. I can't express.
Is it a movie that? Well, I don't know if I should even bring that up.
I can't express enough how much you guys need to watch them because
watch Nice Guys in theaters now.
If enough people like watch these kinds of movies, like the demand increases. That's why so many people go out to watch these high budget television movies like Civil War, X-Men. Not to say they're bad. It's just that they can appeal to a wider audience.
Is it a movie you should like? Would it be lesser if you didn't go to the theater to watch it?
Probably not, but. If you don't go to the theaters, it's not gonna get the amount of money that you need.
That's why I didn't even want to bring up that point, but like
So watching it in theaters is just supporting
exactly because if the movie brings in money,
but you could always buy it on home video, but don't wait that long.
But people also won't. They'll probably torrent it, and that's
true.
Well, I mean,
that's the problem.
What movies out there right now are there to watch? X-Men and then maybe this movie.
Nice Guys. What's another movie out right now?
That's out right. Money Monster came out around the same time, which is not based. It's based off like a true. Is it a true event or is it an original screenplay?
I'm pretty sure it's not true.
The original movie, which also kind of like it doesn't. Was it good?
Yeah.
And it's I don't think it's gonna make a crazy amount of money either. Like it's not gonna bring in like $1 billion in the box office.
And you see, this is the sad thing because like I'm usually like like aware of movie news from what I see on like. I guess maybe like gaming websites or on YouTube or something.
Right.
And I guess the sad thing is that I'm not aware of these smaller films because they don't reach the news of these movies don't reach that wide.
Yeah, because they're not like audience, they're not breaking.
I never heard of Money Monster until just now.
Yeah.
Really? Do you know who's in it?
No, I don't know anything about it.
Julia Roberts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I mean, for me, at its core, movies are a form of storytelling, and if they're telling a good story, then I'm in. That's why I like Nice Guys so much because they told a unique, well, maybe not a unique story, but a unique story to that specific film. It's like it's a story I haven't heard in that specific context or what have you.
That's how it should be.
Yeah,
right? That's how the Hollywood system should be. Is that people need to be rewarded for telling good stories, not just for making movies based on something you know.
Is that more to blame of the studios or the audience?
It's a cyclical thing, honestly.
Because if the audience doesn't go out to watch it, produce like big companies are gonna be like, let's not put money in this because it's not gonna make money.
Exactly.
So if people don't go out to watch these, unless they're spectacles and like, fancy effects and big heroes and stuff.
But then on the other side of the coin is like it's the studio's fault for not taking the risk. But you can't really blame them on that because monies are a lot of money.
And that's
movies are a lot of money
because they want to make money.
And that's where indie films come into play. It's like that's really where they're like, let's tell a story here. Let's
focus on nothing but the
our goal isn't to make like $500 million in the box office. It's just to tell a good story.
That's the thing about movie making now. They're so focused on other motives, instead of just telling a story. You know what I mean? It's like some movies are just there to set up a franchise, Batman versus Superman. They're just not. It's like they don't want to tell a story anymore.
Since we're running kind of short on time, I want instead of talking about some trailers we watched, I wanted to cover one of the questions that one of your comments. A suggestion that I'm assuming it's one of your because you've been sending so many viewers our way,
and it's my pleasure, obviously.
To
tune into Jobby the Hung for weekly Young Broken Board plugs, because I'm gonna be plugging this show until we hit 1,000 or maybe even more.
How many are we at right now?
I don't want to check right now. I think it's like we're close to 200.
We're close to 200.
Last time we checked, it was 5 away from 200. So thank you so much for watching. And
yes, thank you so much.
And for commenting. Yeah. But
every view counts.
Every view counts. Going back to this comment, it's Ghosty Fias.
Ghosty Fias. Thank you.
He posted a really good comment on our most recent podcast.
Yeah, I think it was the first comment actually.
No, it's the third one.
No, but oldest.
No, I think Ghosty Fias's comment on the first podcast is like the first in-depth
it was a really good comment.
It's different. He gave us not that all the other comments aren't good.
Right? Like what's the other one right here?
Love you guys.
We love you too, Coleman Monaghan.
Right, but Ghosty, we're like giving him a specific shout out because he came up with there was a couple of other stuff that he mentioned that we talked about in the podcast, which I appreciated, but he also gave us some good suggestions. One of which I'm going to take today to talk about. The other ones I think I'm gonna spread them on. I'm gonna spread them out a little bit.
Yeah, we don't want to blow the load that you gave us, Ghosty Fias. We're gonna spread it out.
I think this question that he asked for us is relevant to the topic we're talking about. Is are we more interested in films being art or being entertaining?
Ooh, you bring in the groundbreaking, life-changing questions here, man.
I definitely For me, it depends on what movie I'm going into watching. Most films I like to watch because they're telling a good story, with the exception to Civil War, which I'm really invested in those characters, so I want to see, and the action's obviously really cool. I'm giddy when I'm seeing people fighting my favorite superheroes fighting villains and stuff. That's really cool. But I think I get more satisfaction out of movies like The Nice Guys, where they tell a very unique story and a good story. And maybe it doesn't really answer the question because he says film being art. So in that sense, it's art because it's like a book where it's telling a good story in the small amount of time that it has.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of a tough question to really answer because art is subjective.
It is.
One person's art could be another person's trash.
Well, I feel we're assuming that something that's entertaining is automatically trashy.
That's the thing. It's because something entertaining can be considered art. That's what I'm saying.
Can art be entertaining within itself?
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. But art doesn't always have to be boring.
But in the context of this question, what comes to mind is small indie films compared to Civil War
or some. I feel
action movies.
But then that assumes that indie films are automatically art.
True. But I feel indie films try a little bit harder to be arty.
That's true. Have you heard of a movie called Rubber? That's an indie film, right?
What the hell are you talking about? That's a masterpiece. I've never watched it.
That's groundbreaking.
I've never watched it, but that concept is amazing.
There are a lot of films where I can tell you that this specific film has really good cinematography. Yeah. That cinematography looks beautiful. That cinematography is portrait after portrait after portrait.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of hard to say about that for superhero films. I feel like cinematography is a part of it, but I don't feel like they stress so much about the lighting. It's just like, do we have lighting enough so we can see like the character's face?
You know what? I'm sure they do focus on the lighting a lot, but like it kind of gets lost in all the spectacle.
Yeah, and it's not like they're trying to tell a story with lighting, which is cinematographers do that very well. It's like they carry a mood. They describe a mood with the lighting.
I would argue that Guardians of the Galaxy did a pretty good job on lighting, like colors and everything like that. It had a good visual look to it. Guardians of the Galaxy.
So, what movies do you think you guys enjoy more? Movies that like kind of you see like their production.
You know what?
Or
it all depends. It's like sometimes I could find a movie entertaining, but I would say I admit that's trashy.
Yeah,
I like it.
Would you say art is something that makes you think?
Anything can make you think.
Or like make you, I don't know, like actually try to
like find meaning in life.
Yeah, or not find meaning in life, just like analyze it,
Dude, I watched Transformers and it made me question my philosophy of everything. How could movies be this bad?
That's a good point. It's like Transformers and Fast and the Furious, which I know a lot of people like, but like I feel that's like I call these movies popcorn movies. It's like movies that you're not like really have to pay attention to what's happening in the story, like what they're saying, like, oh, what does this mean? What does that mean? Kind of deal. With that movie's just like you see a story progress as the
there's no like symbolism.
Exactly.
It's just like what you see is
which like
what you're getting.
I'm sure anybody can be like that car symbolizes what's Vin Diesel's name?
Toretto.
Toretto's like big, giant throbbing boner.
But you know what? That's the thing. It's like symbolism has to be imposed on by the audience.
Yeah.
Like the audience decides what a symbol represents.
Yeah.
I mean, the director can come out and say what it represents, but then the audience is always going to have their own interpretation. So what I'm saying is that this whole art versus entertainment thing is all subjective. It depends on the person. Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
What do you guys have an opinion on what movies you guys like the most? Like you guys enjoy the most?
In what way?
And like you guys like
in any way?
In like my definition, you guys like popcorn movies? Do you guys like sitting in a movie and like having feels or like being like, holy shit, what the fuck was that?
That's the thing. I can enjoy something like I guess like Star Trek Into Darkness.
Yeah,
I actually really like that movie. A lot of people don't like it because they say it kind of betrays of what Star Trek's about.
Right.
They turn Star Trek like a philosophical, thoughtful piece into like a mindless action movie. But I don't have like any attachment to Star Trek, so I'm okay with that.
Right.
And I like that. Okay. But then there are other movies like fucking. Have you heard of a movie called Road to Perdition?
That sounds familiar.
Road to Perdition is a movie like Tom Hanks and his son go on a wonderful trip escaping from the mob, basically.
Oh, really? Oh,
and Tom Hanks is an assassin for the mob. And it's beautiful. It's like a beautiful movie. Yeah. Like I would consider that movie art. Mm-hmm. But it's also entertaining as hell. So it's like how do we go about this?
Personally, I can say that I think I appreciate like artful movies or movies that like are thought provoking a little bit more because I really get sucked into that story and I get attached to the characters in a different way that I get attached to characters like Captain America, which is like that's a character I recognize from a really long time. Whereas in a movie like In Bruges or a specific one that I watched this year, Good Will Hunting, I got really attached to those characters because the way that the story was progressing and the way they decided to tell that story, I got really sucked into that story. And for me, it's not really art if it's really fancy cinematography or if the direction is really good. But for me, it's more if the story is really well written and really well told, then
that's art for you.
Yeah, that's my favorite kind of film.
Can you think of a movie that's the cinematography is like really good, but the story's lacking? And so...
I don't think so. I feel like I don't think so.
No.
Well, actually,
I can't like it's where it's like cinema.
Because I was thinking like entertaining, like something that's purely for entertainment value and something that's a little more ambitious, or like not ambitious, but something you would consider art. Like Mad Max Fury Road. I feel like it's in this weird place because it's a very entertaining movie.
Yeah,
that's
really beautiful. Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
That's something.
Yeah.
If you don't watch that in theaters, you're missing out.
Yeah.
That like. Okay, that's the thing too. You mentioned like the term popcorn movie. Like when people think of popcorn movie, it's usually as an excuse to like excuse bad movies from existing.
Right. Yeah.
But I would argue that Mad Max is a popcorn movie, but it's like really, it's artfully done.
Technically, it's like
it's artfully done. Popcorn
when I say
movie.
technically, I mean like technical, like all the technicals regards to the movie.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Like, it's really well made.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly all practical effects. The cinematography is really good.
Yeah.
Yes.
The colors fucking pop.
Yes.
And it's just a really
Action
simple
is-
story.
Action is
It's like
beautifully
we're running from these people.
It's like a really long car chase.
Yeah.
Action is orgasmically staged. Oh,
Yeah.
God. Oh.
But I guess I would be in the same camp as you, Miguel. Like I like films
You
that
like-
kind of make me think.
Yeah.
It's something where like you have to be paying attention and like
Right.
understand what's going on with these characters.
'cause-
That's the thing. I like both. You know,
Okay,
it's
yeah.
like
No, well,
Yeah, it's in some
it's
instances
definitely-
I don't. You know, I'll go watch X-Men. I'll go watch.
And,
like,
yeah,
so-
and it's not to say we
War.
can't enjoy both, but which one do we enjoy the most?
but you know, Civil War and X-Men, I guess X-Men Days of Future Past aren't exactly mindless movies. There's a lot of thought put into them, and they like there's a lot of concepts in those movies that do make you think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like Winter Soldier, especially Winter Soldier, like you know, it questions like the ideals about like America or you know, stuff like that. It questions
There's definitely like movies that fit in the middle of the Venn diagram.
right.
Definitely.
What were you say? I saw something.
Producers
Just
just
want to
gave
wrap it up.
Yeah, producers are leaving us out of our own
Go ahead.
studio.
Show us
How
the
ungrateful. Final
well,
thought.
just final thought is that I think we all kind of lean one way or the other, unless like you really.
Hey,
'Cause,
yeah,
I feel like there are some.
I
people
like
who-
both.
There are some
Yeah.
who just like go to the movies to watch like movies that have a lot of explosions and different
And
people.
there's
you know-
definitely the complete opposite.
Yeah,
I know some
exactly.
people were like, "Oh, that movie is complete trash."
Yeah.
Those kind of movies I hate. I don't know why they exist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or then some people just say, "Oh, there was too much talking in them."
Yeah,
Like, gonna
yeah,
get into-
yeah.
Oh, someone I know, they watched Civil War and they're like, "Yeah, I didn't like it. There's too much talking."
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
But you know what? Good for them.
Yeah.
People
Yeah,
enjoy,
I mean,
you know,
right.
people enjoy different things, and it's all subjective.
Well, on that note,
Except Scooby Doo, that movie's fucking trash.
Freddie Prinze Jr. is a jewel.
Matthew Lillard was pretty good though.
on that note, I would. Jesus.
All right.
I would like.
Linda Cardellini's hot.
Who?
Linda Cardellini.
Who's that?
Velma.
Oh, I fucking. Okay. More on her in the next episode.
I got a topic.
Yeah.
Some Bloodline.
Bloodline, yeah. We'll definitely talk about the next.
I
next episode.
jinky her stinky.
Jesus Christ.
On that note, I would like to thank you guys for joining us on
I don't
The
know which
third-
camera I'm supposed to be looking at.
this
this
one.
I'll look at both.
Oh yeah, I was like,
I'll do like a fisheye thing.
For
at both of
Jesus
them.
Christ, for joining us on the third episode of the Young and Broken
Young Broken
Board podcast. I'm gonna make an update video for the channel explaining what we're gonna do for the channel, like content wise.
okay.
So I have some
Well, like
ideas.
a-
Start pumping out that content.
Yeah, just
Yeah, like farting it out.
but couple of shout outs. I want to shout out Jobby for shouting out or giving us a shout out.
Thank you, and I will continue to shout out this channel.
It has
My
helped us,
lord.
helped us tremendously because I think everybody who's watching the podcast are your viewers. So I have to thank you for that.
And you know, you bring up a good point. Like people who are watching this from my channel, share it with your friends. You know, it's like
If they like movies and they like us bitching about movies and talking about movies, then
share it around. You know, like I don't want this podcast to be entirely reliant on my viewer base. Go out and
share it. Yeah.
It totally is.
But I also want to extend the thanks to you guys for coming on and watching the content. That means a lot to me. I'm sure it
To
means
us.
a lot to us as well.
means a lot to us.
Because we're a relatively new channel. And, thanks for giving us a shot. And I hope you are enjoying the content so far.
Thanks for hanging out.
On that note, we will catch you guys on the next podcast.
I'll see you next time.
Toodaloo.
Bye.
Freeze frame. Okay.
I don't know why I froze. I should have kept drinking.